It's hard to be an artist right now. I'm tired. Tired of my poems being relevant, tired of black pain and death being relevant. I'm ready to place them in a time capsule of a world that once was. Flashback to a visit to a Walmart at the end of the second month of COVID. I remember how 95% of the black people in the store were wearing masks, 5% of the white people in the store were wearing masks, probably the same folks screaming, "All lives matter." And when the woman saw me on the aisle, decided to go on the next aisle, what a familiar feeling that was. What a metaphor and reality all at the same time. Hard questions. What is the healing work of a people whose ancestors were owned? What is the atoning and healing work of a people whose ancestors who did the owning? I was born Cleveland Darnell Suitt II, not Junior, though my name would say otherwise. My mom has always called me CJ. She was born in Franklin County, North Carolina, grew up sharecropping. My father, born and raised here in Orange County, grew up working in a sawmill. For the first 9 years of my life, I didn't have running water, third world conditions in a first world context. I am black. I am American, feeling foreign most days. They speak of patience and respectability, clothes, order, a right way. The news speaks of rioters and criminals. 3 white youth create a George Floyd challenge. 45 conjures the ghost of a Miami police chief with a tweet. When the looting starts, the shooting starts. Might as well call me nigga. Saul Williams states nigga from the word necro. Necro meaning from death. I overcame it, so they named me after it. Nikki Giovanni says black and indigenous people are the only true Americans because we are the only people who decided to make the best of the nothing we had. When I say nothing, I mean the stripping of faith, family, customs, land, names. Shall I go on? I shall. Economy, literacy, memory, children, schools got masters in place of teachers, preachers in place of masters. Shall I go on? I shall. Voice, history, music, choice, fertility, dialect, humanity, sexuality, self, what grace? To hold on to our dignity when we could not hold on to our last names, what grace? To deem every life essential when we are not considered to be so, what grace? To hold on to our dignity in the face of a world insistent on its non-existence. We are a miracle embodied. 2015. Pat McCrory refuses to expand Medicaid, using North Carolinians' health as a political bargaining chip, one of a few states who have denied this coverage. For what? Who are we aligning ourselves with? Wyoming? South Dakota? Do I have to be a martyr to matter, or are priorities locked in gated communities hidden away? In Wallace, do we suffer from coverage gaps or empathy gaps? I imagine whiteness and privilege as a bully on a beach who has scooped out all the sand around him to make himself feel taller, balancing on a diabolical pedestal. And every time a black, brown, or indigenous person thrives a little, sand goes back in. And that perceived threat means death, means the denial of any form of reparations or justice or health. Another rural hospital closes, any meaningful change dissipates. That perceived threat manifests itself in human form. Karen shows up to the beach, ready to teach, scooping handfuls of equity and progression, pupils dilated with an obsession with regression, drunk off red line punch and mint juleps with an eugenics garnish, missing a time when our country was great, says you can call her old-fashioned or the good old days when the bottom rail was on top or when folks knew their place. And here we are in this space, in it deep, once again finding our way through as our ancestors did, sourcing the resilience of enslaved Africans and the medicine magic of indigenous people. How powerful for our intention in this moment to be called to breath as we inhale the last breaths of Tony McDade to strengthen our fight, of Monica Diamond to broaden our understanding of what's right, of Nina Pop and George and Brianna and Trayvon and Rakia and Kayla, every person whose life was cut short due to lack of access to a doctor or clinic or preventative care, inhaling every breath, remembering what it means to feel into a life connected and put the health of our communities